Even if he's not.
Well, here we go. Now we're live. And welcome to another Taking a Look At. This time around, we'll be taking a look at the same page we've been taking a look at the last 2 times. And I promise we promise this is the last time we'll be doing this side, even if we don't finish, which we won't.
No, because the moment somebody sees a spelling mistake, we'll have a half-an-hour tangent about languages.
Yeah.
And how Danish is stupid by how it makes it pronounce its numbers.
Yeah. So, want to go over who's in here?
Sure. I guess I'll start since I'm talking. Oh, you fine. Yeah, you start then.
I'm in here, as usual.
I'm here on Rhetoric and Discourse.
So we start. I'm PurpleDan, and I'm having really shitty internet. So if I go away again tonight, like last time, it's one of those things, I guess. Slightly better than last, not a whole lot.
Wait, are we introducing ourselves?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I am.
We've been doing that the other times we've been doing the show, but.
Oh, dude, I don't know. So. Oh shit! I'm Smells Like You Minor.
Yeah.
I have
there we go.
Face things. Let's hit this because I mean, we're obviously not going to finish.
Yeah. I think we're all stalling on starting this one website that we've been doing forever.
I'm pretty sure that's.
So
who's reading first?
I'll read first. Gravitational resonance. Many critics of astrology have repeated the story that the gravity of the midwife has more effect on the newborn baby, as opposed to a newborn toddler, than the planets. However, astrologers don't claim that gravity is the basis of natal astrology. Oh, okay. It's still true.
What?
It's still true that the midwife is gonna have a bigger effect on the baby than the planets in any case, no matter what you're talking about.
So yeah, what the hell? What does this have to do with gravity? Are we talking about like the gravity of the midwife? Like you have a midwife?
Well, it's because like if you're going to apply any logic or like rationale to astrology, you're going to have to start with something that's verifiable, or at least something that you could demonstrate to some degree. And I guess gravity is really the only thing that they have.
Yeah, like unless they're going to say that the light from the little tiny like 2.5 photons that come from the planets.
You know, those things that were mistaken as fixed objects for a very long time.
Well, no, they weren't mistaken for fixed objects. They were
wandering stars.
Well, they're always moving, but I mean, come on. If you look up in the night sky, you see more or less. You can't. Nobody has like a truly photographic memory.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think they're taking it a bit too literally.
So yeah. That's just weird. I still don't understand. And I know they said this earlier, but I still don't understand what actually is supposed to be affecting it. Because gravity would make sense in as much sense as it can make in astrology. Because it's something that actually affects the planet. Like it's a force, one, that we know actually exists, and two, it actually does affect our planet. It's just in very, very, very small amounts. So it would actually, if it was real, that would be like the one mechanism that I could see doing something, but apparently it's not gravity.
Apparently not.
What else is it?
Well, I was about to say that if they did claim it's gravity, it's pretty easy to prove it wrong. You just have someone birth their children next to some mountain, and then someone birth their children next to a plane, and see what the differences are.
Well, you don't even need to. You don't even need to do that. The whole point of that, like of the midwife thing, is that the midwife's gravity is affecting the child more, the baby more. than distant planets.
Is anyone else bothered that they used such an old example? Like Sagan updated that, by using the obstetrician. Like, can anyone tell me the definition of midwife? I don't know. It just seems kind of archaic.
Well, it's still a title.
They still exist. It's weird, but they do.
Yeah, but it's not really something you hear of often. I don't know. I just found that kind of weird that they used midwife. It's not really a wrong. It's not wrong. I don't know. It felt icky.
I gotta be honest. I haven't been in a lot of maternal wards recently, so I don't know what the language is.
Yeah, me neither. I don't know what the common vernacular for doctors happens to be at this moment.
Well, midwives aren't doctors.
They're not.
No. I don't even think you really need much formal training. You just have to be female and have had a child. I think is pretty much the other requirements.
No, here it's an actual education you take.
Oh, is it?
It takes 2 years. It's a big.
I don't know. My grandmother was a nurse in a hospital pretty much her whole life, and she always kind of explained it as kind of a nurse. Yeah,
it's sort of a nurse with a. Wow, this is a fuck. This isn't even a stupid tangent. It's just
we're literally trying to figure out
the definition of a word.
Details of midwifing, and none of us have Googled. That's the best part.
Yeah, and we can't. I don't know. I guess because I live in the backwaters of Nebraska, I hear midwife a lot, and we have midwife centers, and you can get midwives out here. So I actually hear it a lot more than I hear going to the hospital and having. I assume that there is a official title for somebody who delivers babies.
Baby deliverer.
Baby delivery. It's not there in half an hour. It's free.
I think it's called a stork.
A stork.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Let's read the next part.
However, it is universally accepted that gravity and orbital resonance of the sun and the moon affects the Earth's oceanic tides and the Earth's tide.
The oceanic tides and the tide.
Body tide.
Wait, what the fuck is body tide?
I think they're referring to tectonic movement of the plates.
Oh, you mean tidal locking?
Okay, yeah.
Tidal forces also affect the Earth's plate tectonics, continental drift. And then he cites...
Damn? Is that true?
Well, it's not wrong. It does affect it, but not in a noticeable way you would have...
Yeah, it's not when you have, it... I'm guessing it's not you have more earthquakes when the sun and the moon line up.
Yeah, it's not like that. It's not it's not for instance, Enceladus around Jupiter.
Yeah.
Which the orbitation.
That's a good word.
Orbitation. Jeez. While it's orbiting, the tidal forces from that huge planet has a really great effect on it. It's nowhere near as what we have on Earth. But
no, because we are the bigger body.
Yeah, what does this tidal force have to do? Oh, okay. Tidal force is part of what astrologers call natural astrology.
Oh. Tidal force. Force that Tidal has on the market as being the 4th music streaming platform. Sorry, I was just trying to break away so I could finish this obnoxious paragraph.
Yeah.
The tidal force is part of what some astrologers call natural astrology. What?
I mean, if it existed, it would have to be natural by definition.
Yes.
I guess it's not synthetic astrology.
Yeah, it just seems...
Or GMO astrology. It's a GMO-free astrology.
It seems kind of
range.
It's free-range astrology.
I mean, it kind of is.
These guys have never had antibiotics.
No.
But I don't know. I just
hormones.
I think it creates more problems for them by trying to give things special names.
But it's fun naming things.
Yeah. Good point, I guess. Which also includes the study of coincidence. Of You're studying coincidences?
I think that's a sub branch of statistics.
Well, yeah, but in this context, it's absurd. Seismic activity, celestial positions, harvest, and weather. Basically, what
Wait.
Guess what, guys? One day they're going to prove that Mars will yield better organic, locally grown corn.
I'm gonna hazard a guess here and say that that's not a part of natural astrology. That's a part of like geophysics.
See, that's what I meant.
No.
Like
the position of Mars has everything to do with when you harvest corn.
They should just keep calling it just astrology.
Natural astrology.
The way they phrase it just makes no sense.
Like they're literally saying that they're actually literally saying that the coincidence between seismic activity and harvests.
Yeah, what? If they're so
if you harvest the corn on your field, you cause an earthquake.
No. I think what they're saying is like if a seismic event happens when Mars or whatever, Jupiter or whatever the fuck is, in a certain position, it affects.
I know that's what they mean. That's what they mean, but that's not what it says technically.
Yeah, well, I mean, going back to what they say about tidal force of the sun, no, not really. Moon, yeah, sure. The moon would have some effect on the seismic activity, but if you look at how sensitive seismometers are, you will definitely be able to see a difference between certain phases of the moon. Sure, these things are super fucking sensitive.
Phases of the moon doesn't affect the moon's gravity.
Phases. The orientation. Yeah, the orientation of certain bodies versus where the sun is.
Yeah, but I mean that's okay. We can detect a small difference, but it's not like
exactly. It's if you have a small difference that would.
Like it's not like it means anything.
Exactly.
Yeah. So is this like measuring how much water you displace when you go into the ocean?
Kind of.
We can measure it. We can, because the equation for it is pretty easy. So we can measure how much water I will displace if I walk into the ocean. But does it really fucking matter?
Exactly. But how that will influence harvests and weather? Well, the tides do assist with erosion. I mean, that's pretty obvious. But
I think the main point here is what the fuck does this have to do with astrology? Like, it's not like the tides are gonna affect. Like, first of all, how the fuck would the tides affect your personality? Second of all, even if they do, the tides. Really, like we aren't big. Humans aren't big enough.
Tides can affect your mood. Okay.
No.
If you build a really nice sandcastle and the tide comes in and washes it down, you can be pretty fucking pissed.
I don't think a whole lot of newborns are building sandcastles. To be honest.
I'd beg to differ.
Yeah, if you've ever lived in California, you'll know how important the tides is for surfing, and if it's not in the right spot, the mood ain't there.
We need. Does anyone have Bill O'Reilly's number?
Tag goes in, tag goes out. Explain.
You can't explain that.
Can't explain
unless you're an astrologer, in which case you can.
Apparently.
Or desert file.
Or desert file.
Who's gonna read that?
Well, it's either you or Rhetoric.
I'll read it.
All right, tell you.
I believe it is premature to set limits on the effect of gravity and orbital resonance on Earth, as there is much you don't understand. Yeah,
not really.
Kinda, but like the stuff we don't understand
isn't really important.
It's not really related. Like the effects we've seen and observed there's no connection between those effects we observed and personality.
But even like that, like we know how gravity, like we know for the most part how gravity works on this, like on the scale we are at, and we also know like how the bodies in the solar system interact to create things like orbital resonance. Like there isn't really like our predictions are at this point, our theories at this point are so good that the prediction like it's just like the margin of error is almost not there. Like there really isn't that much we don't understand. What we don't understand.
You don't know what causes gravity, so therefore astrology is true. That's the part you're missing.
Yeah.
It's a god of the gaps, except with astrology.
Yeah.
It's at some point we will figure out what about
gaps with rabbit holes. Like they're not really fixing anything. They're filling in the gaps with things that they can't therein explain.
Hold on. Let's see if they have god of the gap fallacy in the list of fallacies out here.
That's a good thing actually. But like it's
nope.
You can really go and use the same sort of logic to say whatever there's something we understand, we can attribute it to anything. Usually,
everything.
Oh yeah.
Argument from ignorance.
So they do know what it is. It's just
but sure you can fill in that you can silicon in a little bit of God with that, but then again you can silicon a bit of anything in there, like a bit of astrology. A bit of
unicorns.
Yeah, sure.
No, why not?
Mythology, a bit of smelly.
Yeah, because gravity doesn't fit into the unified field theory, therefore unicorns.
Yeah.
Therefore smelly is a bear, and
physics isn't complete. There's still stuff to be figured out. Therefore, astrology and unicorns.
Yeah,
exactly.
They gotta be real.
It really doesn't take. It doesn't really take a lot of effort to realize that there's something wrong with the way of their thinking. I mean, sure, that is something that might be difficult to understand for someone. If the person's not used to thinking in these sort of abstract methods, but you can sort of make like a little scenario of someone came into a room with a gun. Left the room, someone else came into the room, noticed someone dead on the floor. You can assume that the other person shot the guy, but you have to look at the evidence first. So if you don't look at the evidence and you have no knowledge, then you can claim anything, but that's not necessarily true. If you claim God did it, then it's pretty much the same thing, just assuming that person shot the other person.
Also,
sure, it might.
Also, if you blame God on, like you say, God killed him, then your God is pretty fucked up.
For intents and purposes, it could very well be true. God did actually kill
that is true. But usually he doesn't like dolly his hands.
I'm not sure if I'm articulating that properly. If I'm making sense by saying
that.
No,
I know what you meant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand it. Yeah. Well, it makes sense. But yeah, that's all they're doing. And that's fine. The funny thing is, if we ever do figure out a way to unify, gravity with the unified field theory or whatever, if we ever figure it out, they'll find something else.
It's definitely not going to include anything about astrology. That's for sure.
Yeah.
At that point, they will just say, "Oh, but how do we know it's the real unified theory?"
Oh God!
Oh, yeah. They'll just pick a different mystery that we don't understand. They'll pick on black holes. They'll pick on dark matter or dark energy.
No, because the moment if we have a unified field theory, we will know what dark matter is.
They'll still do it. $5 says.
Well, now some airman thinks he has the unified field theory.
Yeah. But what he really has is a severe case of retardedness.
And a physicist who will agree with him for money.
Yeah.
Make this
like
look
that.
like it
I
knows what
want the job like that, where I could just like agree with someone and get paid for agreeing.
I don't know. I kind of just want to go to school just to get a degree, like not even like a good degree. Just go to like my community college and get like just a major in physics.
I want to point out that Dan basically just said that his dream life involves a scenario in which he literally plays a character on Entourage.
That
Hey,
sounds good.
Look, if the money is good, I mean,
Yeah.
someone can say,
Yeah, but you have to be a total douche.
if the money is
Stan
good.
Max morals
Yeah.
confirmed.
Everybody has a price, so we don't quite know what Dan's is, but he's willing to do it for the right money.
Oh, trust me, it's pretty low actually.
Here's $20. Go tell everyone geology is bullshit.
Guys, did you know that geology is actually not a science? Okay, so can I give you my Patreon?
Yeah.
Okay, so I literally have a friend. I have a friend of mine that was kind of sheltered his whole life, and me, him, and another friend of mine were having a conversation, and he was trying to explain the concept of pseudoscience because he couldn't think of the word. Right? He was like, no, he's like, what is that word? And we all tried to dig it out of him, and when he finally hit upon it, because apparently he wasn't describing it well enough for any of us to be like pseudoscience. He was like pseudoscience.
Pseudoscience. I like that.
You know what? That is
He
actually
never heard anybody say it, so I can't really fault him for it. But
Yeah, I don't know. For someone whose English is not that great, I would not like to blame people like that.
oh no, his English, he was born here. He's pretty well versed in, speaking it. It's just he'd never heard any, he was pretty sheltered as a kid.
at least he didn't get the P. Like at least he figured out that the P was silent.
Yeah, I guess I could have given him credit for that.
Pseudoscience.
But I just thought it was kind of funny. I was like, oh, dude, that's hilarious. I didn't give him shit for it, but I'm glad I did.
It's kind of funny, yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of funny.
Rhetoric, it's your turn to read, by the way.
Oh, wait, is it my turn or his turn?
No, Rhetoric.
Well, it appears that he has, he's AFK, so
Oh,
correlation precedes possible causation. What?
that is technically true.
That is technically true, but why is it
Why is that under possible mechanism?
Yeah, exactly.
That's not a possible mechanism.
This fallacy is why this could possibly be true.
No, that's not a fallacy.
Wait, isn't it like a way to describe a fallacy though? Isn't there a fallacy?
You're thinking of the fact that correlation does not equal causation.
Isn't it a post hoc assignment? Like
yeah. You're thinking of the fact that correlation doesn't equal causation, but it is technically correct to say that correlation precedes possible causation. Like,
well, yeah, it does. But I was just saying, like,
it's still not a mechanism in any sense word.
Yeah, it seems more of a way to like explain.
Like it's basically saying, but it could be true.
Yeah, that's what I meant by that. Was like it's kind of like their answer to correlation doesn't always equal causation. That's kind of what I meant. Was like it's like they are saying that post hoc assignment is fine.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
We could be
kind of
careful. You have to take us seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I had to pee.
Okay, you can read. I read the title.
Is that it? Just the title?
Yep. And then we had a tangent.
A tangent.
Dr. Percy Seymour, former principal lecturer in astronomy and astrophysics at Plymouth University, and previously a researcher at the Royal Observatory in Greenwich, has developed a model to describe the mechanism behind astrology. It is outlined in his title, Astrology: The Evidence of Science. You, sir, have to return your PhD.
I want to read that.
Yeah, that. Also,
you're not allowed to keep it anymore.
I have to say, I wouldn't be surprised if. Well, I guess if it's.
Well, okay, so it's fine. It's fine if that guy did it. It's cool that he researched it. But I mean, to take it to take it to its most extreme, right? There are examples. If he is saying in his book that there's scientific evidence for astrology, there are examples of very well-known and celebrated scientists believing in pseudoscience. Holy crap! Yeah, that's hilarious.
The thing I've highlighted.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
That's a scientist, like a nice academic way of saying, yeah, no, you're fucking batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I don't know how you. I do not understand how you can go to school, especially to get a PhD, because that shit ain't easy. Go through all of that nonsense and just pretty much throw it in the garbage when you're done.
Well, Linus Pauling, man, he was the dude. He got
prizes
in history, and then he started saying vitamin C can get rid of cancer, and then died of cancer.
Well, to be fair, that was probably like that was Nobel Prize syndrome.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying that's an example of a scientist working his ass off his entire year in a particular field that could debunk the claims he was making.
Yeah.
You know, it's just kind of like he threw it all out the window to follow something that he could have himself disproven.
That the astrologer, that's the side we are on.
Ah.
He's citing an article, a news article. Okay, it's honest. Like, I mean, it's on his own site, but it's in the Sunday Times. So he's citing a source that he has himself appeared in. How convenient.
There's nothing circular about that at all.
Yeah, but like, I mean, all of this is just an argument from authority.
Yeah.
That's literally what that is.
That's true. That if his only credentials are that he's got a PhD and a book, not a paper, not a peer-reviewed paper.
Yeah, exactly.
Book. I can publish a fucking book, especially nowadays when you can like e-publish everything.
I mean, we could just read out our book on this channel, and we will have an audience.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you can just
Yeah.
You can just publish a book. There's nothing. I mean, a good book, sure, but there's nothing impressive about just publishing a book. Sorry.
Sorry.
This interview from 1989 may not include his more recent research.
Where are the quotation marks on that?
Yeah. In outline, his model is based on the title chunks. Yeah, that's very scientific. Of all the planets, in addition to the sun and moon.
Wait! I thought they said it didn't have anything to do with gravity.
Now it does.
You all need to make up your goddamn mind.
Wait! It gets dumber. Which disrupts the Earth's magnetosphere. Magnetic field. How would gravity disrupt a magnetic field?
I feel like that's also something that we would notice.
Well, there's that, but like the only way
guys, here's what we do. We're gonna take two magnets that are still functioning, right? We're gonna send them into space. Zoom
magnets.
Every planet stuck together with a camera, because why not? And we'll see if they ever we'll put a bunch of nonsensical instruments as well as things that we actually need, and we will test this. Let's see if when passing by a
You're gonna
planet,
have to put
does
on
a
some
magnet
orgone
gain
detectors as well.
magnetic force. Like,
But
that's such
yeah,
a pointless thing to do, to have to
just-
debunk something so stupid.
There's no physical connection between gravity and magnetic fields. There's just no. There's no.
Is my mic being weird again?
Yeah, your mic is just making.
Your mic's been weird this whole time. We're all too
Dan,
polite to say anything.
Oh, Dan said it was
It was good. Before we went live, it did sound
okay,
good.
let me fix that.
Just buy a new microphone.
But going back
How about
to
now?
speak a bit more.
Hello.
Yeah, that'll be good for now.
Recite a poem.
Rose,
Just kidding, don't do
it's
that.
a blue. This is fucking bullshit.
Good poem.
It didn't even rhyme.
Yeah, there's no even physical mathematical
I mean, the only way
connection between gravity and magnetic fields.
the only way I could see it doing something is if the gravitational pull somehow changed the flow of material inside the Earth that creates the magnetic field. Like, that's the only possible mechanism I can think of, and that's not how that works.
Yeah.
Like, it's not powerful enough to do that.
Well, okay. Well, gravity does have an effect on, say, light, which is an electromagnetic wave. I mean, you can argue that.
Well, yeah, it has an effect on light because light goes straight through curved space-time. But I mean, it's not like having a massive object is gonna affect a magnetic field.
Yeah, so they really do got to propose a mechanism for why that connection even exists.
Then again,
There's a better connection that they talk about here in a second too, which is hilarious.
But I think you kind of made a good point with the explaining a mechanism, because that seems to be the one defining characteristic of most of these ideas that we see from basically anybody that's trying to.
Okay, now it gets even dumber.
Yeah, that line right there is what I read,
Which
and I was
affects the human neural network.
Yep.
No, it fucking doesn't.
So imagine that if it did. Every time you get an MRI, your brain gets fucked up.
Exactly.
Like that magnet is way stronger.
You have to have very strong you can affect neural networks with very strong magnets. That is a thing. Like, you can't remember what it's called, but you can basically take a very powerful magnet and set it right up next to your skull, and then you can basically sort of turn off parts of the brain. I can't remember what it's called, but MRIs. Like, if for fuck's sake, there are MRIs that have like the most powerful MRI in the world is like what? I think it's like 10.5 Teslas, which is a really powerful thing that they use to make connectomes, like seeing how the brain is all the nerve cells in the brain are connected, and that doesn't fuck with people's brains. If that doesn't fuck with your brain, then the magnetic field is not going to do it. Of the Earth is not going to do it either.
Yeah. I don't think people realize how weak the magnetic force of the planet is.
Yeah, it's really only because of how big it is that it actually protects us.
Yeah, but it's not actually like strong. If it was, we would notice it, because we drive around in metal boxes and shit.
Well, I can't. I want to take a left turn here, but I can't because
actually, you have a very valid point. Rhetoric, if the magnetic field was that fucking strong, then any sort of moving conductor would induce a current in it. So you're driving with your car. If you touch two parts of it, or if you take two cars, drive it from just on a highway, and connect any sort of conductor between them, you'll have a moving current.
Oh, so you could like shoot off sparks just by like having a fender bender.
It'll probably kill you.
Just kill you.
Thunderstorms would be fun.
Oh, yeah. Well, then again, any sort of moving metal, because like the magnetic field is sort of moving, so just even a static piece of metal would have a.
Oh my goodness! Fucking whatchamacallit, those fidget spinners would so cause like an electric.
Yeah, if you make have a metal one.
Yeah, just sit there and spin one of those fuckers. Free electricity.
It probably wouldn't spin though.
No, if it's made of metal, the magnetic field is that powerful. It's gonna be stuck to the earth, possibly going north.
I don't think because it has no way to dissipate that electrical energy, it will be frozen almost.
The earth would be a fucking magnetar.
Also, it will be very difficult to actually generate any reliable electricity. Oh my god!
It works through the gravitational effect of the planets, which are magnified by what Seymour calls magnetotidal resonance to affect the sunspot cycle.
What?
I'm gonna hazard a guess and say that Seymour has gone a bit nuts in his old days.
That just really sounds like a classical.
Wait, what happened to Smelly?
Salad.
Oh, we lost Smelly. I didn't even notice. Well, no wonder the conversation.
How good friends we are.
I know. Well, no wonder the conversation was civilized and coherent. I love you, Smelly.
Hold on. I'm gonna write.
I feel like most of the sentence is just word salad that he came up with.
Magnetotidal resonance? Come on.
That's a fucking Pokemon move right there. That's what that shit is.
Also to affect the sunspot cycle? Yeah, because the planets are definitely gonna have that much of an effect on the magnetic field of the fucking sun. You know, 99% of the mass in the solar system.
Oh god.
Well, apparently it's a thing. Let's see. Someone read.
Planetary alignments correlate with sunspot cycles which impact the Earth. In separate studies, there are peaks within the sunspot cycles coinciding with the Jupiter-Saturn helioconjunction, 11.86 years, Jupiter's perihelion, 9.93 years, and what astrologers call a Sun-Venus conjunction, 11.08 years.
I mean, yeah, the sunspot cycle is about 11 years, but like, okay, so you found something else that's also 11 years.
Yeah, let's say, let's sit around and pick other things that are 11 years, and they affect, or they're affected by the sunspot cycle.
Let's see, what else? What else takes 11 years? I think there are cicadas that are 11 years.
Are there?
No, wait, no. Is there? I know there's 13 and 7 years.
I'm pretty sure somebody can do this. Is fit in whatever nonsense you want to fit in. Really, anything will do. It doesn't have to do with planets. Anything that happens every 11-ish years. 12.
So even if let's say that happened and two things are actually connected, how would that affect how exactly is that supposed to affect us?
How does it affect our personalities? How do sunspots affect my personality? That's what I want to know. Is through what mechanism am our sunspots affecting?
No, not affecting. Remember, it's based on when you're born. So that so it's not like a continuous process. There's something something special about your brain when you're born that the sunspots beam into.
Yeah, there's. I guess my mom's womb was like a lead shielding around me.
It's a fucking Faraday cage.
Yeah, there we go.
Here first, ladies and gentlemen, the womb is a Faraday cage.
It's a Faraday cage, and then the moment a fucking toe got out, shit just got real, and I got affected by sunspots.
Little known fact: there are actually metal wires running inside the uterus.
Mm-hmm. It's a weird adaptation, but it's we're guessing this is why it came about.
That's why you have to have a lot of iron in your system when you're a mother. Otherwise, you can't develop properly.
Yeah.
It all makes sense now. We figured it out. Well, we can end this now, can't we?
Yeah, we can.
All right, good job, everybody. We'll see you next week.
That's
the three of us can now co-author a book about these phenomena. We can sell it, become rich, and we can own a yacht.
Wait, just one? Do we have to share it?
I mean, it's just one book. I mean, we're not going to be that.
Wait, you get one yacht per book?
No, we okay. I think I'm lowballing how much money we're going to make from this. I'm pretty sure we're able to own at least 3 yachts.
I mean, I have no problem with us sharing a yacht.
It's a yacht nonetheless. You get pretty big yachts, yeah.
Yeah. We can. Well, that would be a good YouTube series. We can just have it and then go like sail around the world.
Yeah, and then we can take turns of wearing the captain's hat.
Cool. I think we need to set up a Patreon for this. I'm sure. Like,
we would be really good con artists if we actually put our minds to it. We could con the shit out of everybody.
Who says we aren't doing that?
Oh, we can start our own. We can start our own, like spirit signs, like channel. Make random connections between things.
Sell lots of crystals.
Sell lots of crystals. Yeah.
Crystal water.
Crystal water. I like that one. Spirit water, is that what he calls it? Spirit water.
Yeah,
I like spirit water too.
Yep, I got my own spirit water here.
Okay, now we have to read about solar output.
No.
Solar output, including heat, light, radio, X-ray, neutrinos, solar wind, and possibly more. Possibly more.
Yeah, they just haven't found all the things that come out of the sun.
I'm pretty sure the thing is the first here, like all of them, you could just say electromagnetic radiation. It's extremely important as regards all life on Earth. Not true, but okay. Not just climate. There are ecosystems on Earth that are independent of the sun.
Mm.
So that's not true.
But keep going, because it affects humans too.
Ooh. Some of these output directly affect human behavior through interaction with the Earth's magnetic field. No. For example, there are studies showing significant correlation between events such as wars on Earth and the 11 and 22 year sunspot cycle.
Okay, we have been at war since like the dawn of humanity. You will find a war on any given year.
No, there is like a very. I think there is like a few. I think it's like 5 years. Like at some point, I think it's like the 1800s. Like someone looked it up. There is a small period where there were no major wars.
Well, but yeah, I mean, otherwise you pick a year, you will find a war, and then go back 11 years from that and find another event, a terrorist attack, a declaration of war, a bomb going off.
You can find something bad happening in every year.
Yeah,
it happens.
And that's pretty much like their only criteria is something bad happens every 11 years.
Yeah, they're not making like it's not like they're making like actual testable predictions. Yeah. They're just saying something bad will happen.
Oh, my prediction is that someone next week will get killed.
Fuck it. My prediction is that that when I snap my finger, someone will get killed.
Oh.
Somewhere, someone died.
Fucking murderer.
Yeah.
It's like those old commercials. Like
I remember that.
Every time I snap my finger, a child dies of starvation. Then stop snapping your fingers.
What is wrong with you? You monster. Okay. Casual and acasual relationships. Oh.
Oh.
Oh
I don't think it's called a casual relationship. I think it's called committed relationships.
That is a very weird word. I'm not married. I'm a single.
I want to use that. No, I'm not dating. I don't want to go on dates. I'm a single.
Yeah.
I don't really have someone. I'm a single.
Oh my goodness. This is. Oh, that is the dumbest way to name something. I'm sorry, people. You are idiots. All right. Many astrologers believe that the observed terrestrial extraterrestrial correlations reflects an acasual connecting principle of. Oh my goodness, this is so much.
Wow.
No, I can't read it. Oh my god, I can't.
Wow. Okay. At least, like, sure, the previous one was stupid, but at least it was like, okay, I can kind of like see what they're getting at. Now it's just bollocks.
Yo, this is just. It's
like someone. It's like someone ate a thesaurus and vomited.
An acasual connecting principle or synchronicity as proposed.
In quotations.
I don't know. Synchronicity is the same thing as an acasual connecting principle. Jesus fuck.
Acausal.
Acausal.
I'm not even sure what the fuck.
Oh, I don't. You know
wait. Okay, it gets even dumber.
By Swiss psychiatrist and founder of analytical psychology, Dr. Carl Gustav Jung.
I'm pretty sure the founder of analytical psychology was Freud.
Jung
the guy who taught Jung.
Yeah. Jung refined his concept with the help of one of the pioneers in quantum physics. Inventor of the neutrino and Nobel Prize winner.
He invented it. He didn't discover it. He went out into his garage with a hammer and some duct tape and made a new particle.
Yeah, in case you thought that neutrinos were naturally existing, no. We fucking invented that shit. We also invented the atom not too long before.
Yeah.
Yeah, photons. Photons were tough, but we got there eventually.
I mean, why do you think they had a Large Hadron Collider? It's to produce those neutrinos. It's a neutrino factory.
Mm-hmm. And then just release them out into the world like a jar full of fireflies.
Yeah. That's how that works.
Mm-hmm. All right. Nobel Prize winner Wolfgang Pauli. Synchronicity is a belief but not an article of faith.
I'm not even sure what that means.
I feel like a belief is an article of faith. No, maybe not, I suppose. But
I mean, an article of faith is something like you say, if you're part of this, you have to believe this.
I suppose that's just
So,
odd.
So in other words, it's a belief, but you don't have to believe it.
Mm-hmm. So did Wolfgang Pauli actually win a thing?
Crypto has a good point. What the fuck was the writer on when he wrote this article? We have no idea.
I am having a hard time reading it, honestly.
I want to look up if that's an actual Nobel Prize winner.
Let's see. Notable awards: the Hallinger Prize, Lawrence Medal, Nobel Prize in Physics, 1945.
Probably for discovering the neutrino. That's gonna be my guess, based on what they say here.
Probably. I bet if I read through the Wikipedia, I'll find out exactly what. But he did win something. That is not a lie.
It's another, but it's just another argument from authority.
Yeah. And I think he's dead now, so we can't really ask him.
Well, if he lived at the same time as Jung, then he's dead.
He'd be 117 now if he was still alive.
Yeah, that's the upper limit of the current of our current abilities to keep people alive.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I guess he did win something.
Good for him.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out exactly what he was for, but
in any case, it's.
Oh, he also didn't like evolution, so that says something about him, I suppose.
Well, that's. Why should I care? He's not a biologist.
I know, but yeah. So that's something. He
I don't like neutrinos, therefore they're wrong. Yeah, I can play that game too.
All right. Your turn, Dan.
Oh yeah. Frontiers of science. As I wrote above, I believe it's unwise and premature to use the current model of the four fundamental interactions, fundamental forces, as a basis to rule out possibilities for several reasons. First, within this model, quantum mechanics and gravity are not yet reconciled. Scientists are still trying to develop a theory of quantum gravity and, as a result, a grand unified field theory. In addition, several discoveries within quantum physics suggest that this could be the future. This could be in the future become a fertile area for reasoning to possible mechanism. Okay.
Wait. I'm not even sure I understand what they're actually trying to say.
Very much that they're trying to look for a hole in science.
Yeah.
And then once they've discovered that hole, somewhere in that hole, they will say, yeah, but in that hole, there must be astrology.
Yeah, it's funny because this is like a weird God of the Gaps argument, because they're not actually saying that because we don't know this, therefore astrology. They're just saying there's a possibility maybe in there, so we shouldn't dismiss it yet.
It's a weird, like, almost underhanded way of doing it.
Yeah. It's like it could potentially maybe be in quantum physics, so until we know everything about quantum physics.
But it almost seems like they're implying that there might be some, like, fifth force responsible for it.
Mm-hmm. Like, you don't know. Maybe they'll find out. You can't fucking dismiss unicorns until we know everything about quantum physics. Until then, they are possible.
I mean, technically, unicorns are real. They are. Right? The scientific name for rhinos, there is a rhino species whose scientific name is, its species name is unicorn.
Hmm.
Because it has one horn. Flawed tests. They should be fun. In the field of astrology, it's not a field. There are many more fatally flawed tests than real evidence.
No shit.
I mean, yeah.
Maybe you should stop there.
Like, since you can't have a negative number of flawed tests, yeah, if all numbers are gonna be bigger than 0.
Yep, you have more.
There are many reasons for this, primarily because astrology is bullshit. There's no budget for testing astrology. I wonder why. And most astrologers are more motivated by the study and application of astrology than addressing the challenge of providing and defending scientific proof.
So let me translate that. Most astrologers want to make money off of reading than they do about defending their nonsense.
That's putting the cart before the horse.
Jesus fuck.
Like, that's too fair. That's too fair science.
Too fairy science.
Wait, you don't know what that word means? What that expression means?
Hey, it's smelly.
It's just funny.
But you know what it is? What too fair science is? It's an actual expression.
It's an actual expression? I've never
Well, sort of actual expression. But no, it's the idea that the same way you can investigate tooth fairy, like you can make all sorts of correlations between what tooth you put under the pillow and how much money you get, or like what day of the week it is. You can do all sorts of things, but you haven't actually established that the tooth fairy exists.
I've actually never heard of that, but it makes sense.
Yeah, that's what this is. They just assume that astrology is real, and then starts in quote unquote studying it.
Yeah, but they gotta make money before they actually study whether this shit is true or not.
Yeah,
they're gonna sell you the product, and then maybe if they have enough money, they'll test if their product works or not.
So most tests are run by skeptics with budgets in fields like psychology who design quantitative tests when the data requires quantitative analysis that would be better addressed by those who understand astrology. No, that's not how that works. If it's an actual phenomenon, you should be able to detect it, no matter how well you understand it. As long as you understand it well enough to be able to set up a reliable test.
No, that's like letting fucking homeopath be the only ones who ever test homeopathy.
Exactly.
No, we're the only ones qualified to test if this is true or not. And don't worry, we won't be biased about it. We'll let you know if it's not true.
There are also real procedural hurdles to jump that we're not going to name for some reason. Oh, no. Okay.
Oh, they do? Look at that.
Yeah. Sorry.
They are going to name them.
Ooh. I'm just so used to these kind of idiots just saying things.
They are pretty. If nothing else, I will say that they are pretty honest about a lot of things.
Yeah,
like even that sentence about saying like we have more flawed tests than real evidence of our nonsense, and we don't have the money. We don't really want to run the science. We just want to sell you the product.
It's like they have insights, like personal insights.
Yeah,
but they have enough insight, like introspective enough to realize that, but not introspective enough to realize that probably means it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Smelly, you read.
So close.
Okie dokie. Problems testing astrology. Astrological practice under strict scientific method. Lack of fresh, accurate, objective data.
Wait, fresh?
Fresh.
Like, that's fresh.
What does that mean?
It's got to be GMO free, gluten free, fresh data.
Well,
Organic.
Okay, well, I think what they mean is kind of like whenever we, like, say we're gonna make fun of it, and we want to think.
What do you mean?
Well, that's what inevitably happens. You know, whenever they present something, it's like, okay.
No, we're doing it right now.
Think back. I think they're like trying to say that we should study something from somebody that's like more recent, I guess.
Okay.
Yes. Because, you know, data goes bad over time. It just decays.
Well,
like, you know, they only have a shelf life of so long, and then
that's a video game, data decay.
It's a great title.
It is. It actually,
we should greenlight that.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Well, Greenlight doesn't exist anymore.
Get on Steam.
Does it?
No, they're closing it down in favor of something else because they realized that a lot of shit was getting on there.
Yeah, but okay. So look, the problem is just like dating. You gotta weed through the bullshit before you find something that's worth a damn.
No, but if it still existed, we could so.
Look, if
still
something
make a
like
game called Data Decay
get popular, that was clearly a troll. Somebody was like, "Look, it's like a goat, and he just has a seizure."
No, Goat Simulator is made by an actual.
I know, but
an actual major company.
Look at it. Just on the surface, it looks like a troll game.
It does.
Honestly, like something a stoner was in his room. A stoner with coding knowledge was like, "Hot watch! I'm gonna make people play a game where you're just a goat that has an epileptic seizure."
Yeah. Well, I think the first time that I saw it, it was like on a Humble Bundle that was released on like April 1st. And I was like, "Are you serious?" Because I don't know.
Like a joke.
Yeah, no, I entirely was like, ha ha ha.
No,
the game was released on April 1st.
Yeah, no, it was made. It was made for an internal conference where they just like jammed. It's basically like it's basically a ragdoll physics engine.
Yeah, it's a physics. It's like a physics.
It's a bad physics engine with bad ragdoll graphics.
But it's just kind of funny. Like if you had no prior knowledge to the game and saw it on the Steam market, I think it's like what, $5, like $4 or $5.
Well, to be fair, the title should give it away.
Yeah, but
no, even the title that is entirely a troll post.
No.
Yeah,
I would not have expected it to actually be a real game, and I didn't for a while. Like after I first heard of it, I was like,
we point out the fact that the goat is in third person, so technically it's not a simulator.
That is true. That is a very good point.
There you go.
There's so many layers of like sarcasm caking this game to where if someone explained it to me on the street, I would think they were kidding.
Mm-hmm.
And then just top it off, you can go to space.
Yeah. It's like Little Big Planet. If the creators of that game were just constantly shooting up and doing a ton of acid.
Have you played Little Big Planet? That game is on something.
Well, yeah,
I've actually never
really
played
fun, and it's basically just a game exhibiting ragdoll physics. I mean, you're literally a ragdoll. I mean,
they took the concept very literally.
There isn't actually ragdoll physics in Little Big Planet.
It's just doll physics, you know.
Anyways, let's
stop ruining the jokes. These are great game puns.
No.
Look, this isn't Tugs, guys. Let's get back to the. Am I the only one that watches really stupid shit like that?
Probably.
I don't know what Ricky and I forgot the other guy's name. Elliot. I don't know what those guys are doing at ETC, but I want some of it because it's a pretty good show. I don't know. I just like those guys are cool. Anyway, they have a show called Tugs, and it's funny.
Read on.
All right. Oh,
isolating the huge number of variables is difficult. What?
How many variables are in a goddamn psychic?
Like
so if we can't in science figure out the variables that make up someone's personality in astrology, then how the fuck are astrologers doing it?
Yeah, sorry, but
it shouldn't be that having a quantitative test if we can't count how many variables there are.
No.
Like astrology really shouldn't be that hard to do.
Well,
like You should, if it works, you should be able to just like read like say 5,000 people, and then see if it like, and then have them take an actual personality test, and then see if it matches.
Yeah, you can't.
That is literally all you need to do.
Avoid, numbers.
Yeah.
Because they basically just talked shit about it earlier. Like, how dare they have a test that makes sense?
Oh. No, I mean, you're right. If it was true, then everybody who is born on the same day should have more or less the exact same personality.
Yeah.
And
it's clearly not, because you can have fraternal twins.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But
definitely not born. Definitely born.
Oh, that's actually a really good point. Twins are a great experiment.
Yeah, there's already been a twins experiment. It was talked about in Cosmos.
For astrology?
Yeah, they're episode 4.
Oh, cool.
The fourth episode in the original 70s series.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, he uses a song that I'm very familiar with, because I grew up listening to a lot of soul, R&B, sort of disco-y sounding music. So,
yeah, I feel like this wouldn't be hard.
I'll always remember that shit. I don't know.
Like, this test wouldn't even without twinning, this test wouldn't be hard. You go to any given hospital in any city and just ask how, give me the names of the kids who were born today.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, never really thought about it like that.
Like this isn't that hard to fucking do.
Yeah, they're just making excuses at this point.
Yeah.
Unique conditions are impossible to replicate. That's true for every scientific experiment. But it's not like, you don't have to if the effect is so pronounced, you don't have to replicate them exactly. You just have to get close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a popular.
That's why you do. That's why you do a large, you have a large sample size.
Mm-hmm.
I think,
especially when it comes to biology.
Yeah, in biology, it's because biological systems are so fucking ridiculously complex and change all the time.
Yeah, you can't possibly control all the variables. So, and that's why we have statistical analysis.
Which is, this is why we sadly, a lot of biologists aren't that good at statistics.
I know.
Which is weird.
All that could have been summed up. The old idiom, lightning never strikes in the same place twice.
Mm-hmm.
Which is bullshit, by the way, because it does.
Like, statistically, it could.
Yeah. It does. High buildings.
Yeah. Anything with a lightning rod on it.
You don't look at it scientifically or even apply any numbers. If you thought about it logically, I could.
Also, I would like to point out that a lightning strike isn't one strike; it's multiple strikes using the same.
Or really, it's just higher than everything else.
No, every single lightning strikes are multiple discharges.
We're
losing you, Smelly. We're losing
him. I need 10 cc's of internet.
I was thinking, oh fuck's sakes, please tell me my internet's not dying. And
you can actually catch the effect with a really bad.
I feel like we need a vaccine for
an old camera, like a video camera, and it gets slow. You can see
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna translate. I know what he's trying to say. He's trying to say that you can, if you have a high-speed camera, you can capture the strike of a lightning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's a lame ass excuse. You'll suck at excuses.
Try speaking again. Smiley, try speaking again.
Sad thing.
Sad thing.
I heard something.
All right. Let's see. So the experimenter effect means the result often reflect the conscious and unconscious bias of the experimenter.
Yeah,
because we have absolutely no mechanism to control for that.
Yeah, like it's not like you can do blind, double or triple blind studies to rule that out.
Nope.
Okay, can you hear me?
There we go.
Okay, so what I was trying to say is even with an old camera, you can see that effect. Like,
that's true.
That was my point. But where? Okay, so did you just read number what, 4?
Number 4.
Okay, and statistical results in a controversial field are often skewed, misinterpreted, and manipulated. Well, mostly manipulated.
Not if they're like that's like I want to see some kind of statistics on that. Because, I mean, like, no, the whole point of doing statistical of doing statistics.
Statistical.
Statistical.
Fucking brilliant.
Look, if you do all your testicle results,
that is
consult your proctologist and your
statisticals is when a naked man does the statistics
by dipping his balls in ink and writing out the forms.
Yeah, he's standing over it, swinging his balls as he does statistics.
I want to make sure we don't make any money on this. So shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, tits, fart, turd.
We don't monetize.
I was halfway quoting. And halfway quoting Carl. Holy shit!
Now I want to. Can anyone do a Carl Sagan impression?
Yeah, doing. I can't basically do a more refined Kermit the Frog.
Wow, that is. He really does sound like a riff. Do you think his eyes were pretty?
I said this before, and you all disagreed with me.
Really? No. Okay, I take that back then, because yeah, that is actually what he sounds like.
Actually, I don't remember the conversation. I'm basically just lying.
I know that we talked about Kermit the Frog. I think you did like a Kermit the Frog, Alex Jones thing once.
If you want
well,
to,
that's because the chemicals turned Kermit gay.
Exactly. And now he sounds like Liberace.
It's not Kermit the Frog's voice, but with a lisp.
If you want to get a good example of what I'm talking about, where I think Carl kind of sounds like Kermit, just go watch the episode where he starts with of the Cosmo series, where he's like, "If you want to make an apple pie from scratch," just imagine the picture of Kermit with him holding the iced tea. It's like, everybody knows that.
I'm gonna have to. I don't know about this. I don't know. I have my doubts about this. Oh, so sorry. But statistical results are controversial. That's just them saying we can't trust anyone else who does studies on this because they're just gonna lie about it.
Yeah, we can't trust anybody unless they have a vested interest.
Yeah, if it doesn't support us, it's because it's misrepresenting because the evil scientists don't want to agree with us.
Yeah, the Illuminati, Freemasons, they're out to get us. So
yeah,
yeah. So if it disagrees with me, it's wrong. Not just because it's been skewed, obviously.
And here's another appeal to authority, because Professor Hans, I'm going to say this wrong, I think
that's how you pronounce it.
I'll say it 2 ways, just to cover my ass. Async states that testing astrology is a complex and difficult field. That doesn't kind of make sense. That testing astrology is a complex and difficult field. Oh, so I guess he's trying to say the tests themselves are.
Yeah, it's
filled on their own.
It's not.
I know. I think that's just a poorly written sentence
relating to psychological variables. So is astrology physical, or?
I mean, it would be related to psychology because it's affecting personality. But I mean,
yeah, in ways that they can't.
If it's affecting it enough that like ancient people were able to discover it, like if it's that obvious, it shouldn't really be that difficult to test.
No. But it's just too complex. It's too complex for science, but it's perfectly simple enough for, you know, the person that you call on the phone to do a reading over the phone.
Ancient, like too complex for modern science, but not to the ancient Egyptians.
Nope. Oh goodness.
That's how that works.
Yeah, they can figure that shit out. Whose turn is it? Is it your turn, Micro?
I think so. Myth of flawed experiments being passed off as failed experiments. Yet many skeptics claim that astrology has consistently failed over many years in thousands of scientific tests. I'm not sure thousands, but there have been like actual tests done, and yeah, they failed. This is a very popular myth. No, it's not. That has been duplicated on many websites. I've asked numerous critics of astrology to cite their best results. This is the list of the best. I invite anyone reading this to produce or even devise a test of astrology of astrological practices that is not fundamentally flawed. I don't have the time. I don't have the time and resource to evaluate more than one test at the time. That's not what. Like, you have the time to write all of this.
The whole. We can't bring. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I just wanted to address this. Like, it seems like a lot of their complaints about the criticism against it is just technology isn't advanced enough, and to which I'd ask, like, how advanced does it need to be?
Well, we need to have a unified field theory of gravity first.
This seems relatively simple because they're talking about ideas that we're pretty well aware of. They're just manipulating them, you know, like gravity, magnetism.
Just because something is extremely difficult to test does not necessarily mean that it's any good science. For instance, if you manage to induce an electrical field by just taking a plastic pipe, wrapping a copper wire through it, and dropping a magnet through it, and making LED light up, you can give that to a child to do, and it works. You don't need to understand the physics behind it to get any sort of good results from it. It's like they're trying to say that because we don't understand it, we can't test it, which is bullshit. There has to be some way to test some sort of interaction and have repeatable results. They just don't have that yet. So,
and that's kind of like the way that we come about understanding it is by testing it.
Yeah. It's because we don't understand it that we should test it.
Yeah, and you can't assert that you have all the answers if you can't prove how you got to those answers. Like, how did you arrive at your conclusion?
And I feel like it should
punching.
Yeah.
That's how I arrived.
Even just testing the result of, you know, like the thing that James Randi did, where he gave out all the astrology readings to the whole room of people and asked if they fit, and everybody ended up with the exact same reading.
And then he had somebody that dude stand up at the end of all of it and be like, just because you can't prove it doesn't mean that it's not real.
Yeah. So I mean, we can test just the results part. Like, even if we don't know the mechanism, you know, even if it's some new unknown force that causes these things, we can still test to see if Jupiter being where it is genuinely affects somebody's life.
Yeah.
Like we can.
It's not that. It shouldn't be that hard to test.
No. It's like dark matter and dark energy. We may not know what they are,
but we can see the effects.
Yeah, but we can still. Yeah,
I'd be curious to know
the effects.
I think I'm going to look into this when we're done, but I'm curious to know like what the birth dates and astrological signs were for like some of the like most prolific like serial killers.
I mean, it's probably fairly.
I'm sure that's somewhere online.
Yeah.
Probably is.
Yeah, but I bet you have like a random.
It should just be like randomly spread out over the year.
You know what? You just gave me something to do.
You're gonna
good for me.
Screw going to work. I'm gonna find out if serial killers have the same birthday or not.
Look at me. My priorities are a mess.
Not as much of a mess as the non-GMO project, so that's good.
That's okay. I spent most of yesterday working on a video rather than actually on my job, so you know.
Hey, I've been doing pretty much the same thing.
Oh, are we gonna have a new smelly video?
Yeah, I'm kind of working on 2 at the same time because I don't know. I felt myself whenever I was working on. Can you hear me?
Smell that?
Oh, but anyway, so yeah, like I don't know. I
really
felt
no one got that joke.
Yeah, it came to me late. Anyway, so yeah, I'm working on 2 at the same time because I just felt myself getting burnt out. Like I'd come to one and get bored. It's a what?
Who wants to read? It's a video threesome.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
Nice. I look forward to it.
Good, because I've been doing a lot of not sleeping. Okay, I'll read. The Carlson double-blind astrology test. Sorry, that's supposed to be part of the sentence. Has been cited many times by skeptics. The study, published in Nature in 1985, claimed to show that qualified astrologers could not match test subjects' charts to their self-reported results of the California Psychological Inventory any better than chance.
Oh, so the thing I suggested.
I think I've seen that one.
That's literally the thing I suggested.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna hazard a guess if it's was published in Nature. There probably weren't like major issues with it.
Oh no, but the results were skewed because
that and the fact that he's talking that and the fact that he's basically saying that it's nonsense.
Does he actually say why
this
it's
isn't
nonsense?
backing up the astrologer? Well, yeah, he says not only was it cited by skeptics, but it's the study in Nature that claimed that astrologers couldn't do shit.
I don't want. Wait.
It's not a link to the paper. It's a.
No, I'm sorry. That's not how you do references.
Oh, there we go.
You don't do references by linking to your own website. I found it.
Let me reference this one guy who says that I'm right.
No, it's not even that. They have taken, instead of referencing the actual paper, which is what they're implying by doing this, also they're
referencing their article about the paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like bullshitception. Do we ever make it? Oh, here we go.
Nope, that's not that's not the paper either.
No, it's not.
I don't think there's an actual link to the actual paper here.
But no, if you make it that easy, people might click on it and do their own research and find out why it's not bullshit.
Jesus Christ.
I love how they have a thanks section of their publishing thing. I mean, it's completely irrelevant to point it out. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
You helped us link ourselves to ourselves, back to ourselves.
Oh, the irony.
Quote.
That fucking irony. The thing I highlighted.
Oh.
That's kind of how arguments work. One of those sides usually disproves the other with evidence.
Yeah.
right?
This whole site's ironic. They have the whatever, the fallacies on the right-hand side. It's like, did you ever bother to read those? You should read those.
Dude, there's a Reddit hipster in fucking Seattle, Washington right now that's laughing his balls off. See what I did? I was doing it before it was cool. Okay, so it received much press attention.
Oh yeah, I have a bad joke. How can you recognize a coffee hipster?
He'll have told you 11 times.
No,
he drank the coffee when it was still hot.
Yeah, he drank it. He has a burnt tongue because he drinks the coffee before it's cool.
Yeah.
That's such a terrible joke.
It is a terrible joke. I already knew it.
I think the foundation of this show is bad jokes, though.
All right. Did you know that you're not? Did you know that you're not allowed to run in campsites?
No.
What?
Yeah, you're not allowed to run in campsites. You have to ran because it's past tense. I'm glad my girl got a good kick.
That's a pretty good joke.
Oh no, I got it.
That's a pretty good joke.
Mike, I might have killed my girl though.
I have really bad humor.
Mm-hmm.
Like
my wife hates it. I will text my wife terrible puns throughout the day, and she just about wants to kill me when she gets home.
Yeah,
I think Micro just tried to prove he was a hipster by saying he invented bad humor.
No, I didn't invent it. I just like my humor is bad and sometimes dark.
Oh, I bet you have a vintage version of Television's first album somewhere, don't you?
No.
I really hope somebody got that. Television is a hipster band that was kind of like the Mars Volta of the 80s.
Okay.
There's a song called Marquee Moon that's obnoxiously 17 minutes long for no reason.
Why?
Did you know that Inagata Davida is actually like 17 minutes long? So every person in the band can have a solo.
Wow.
And that's literally the reason.
It received much press attention and is still published extensively on the web as the strongest evidence that natal astrology is no better than chance. That's bullshit because you can't. The moment it gets published in Nature, it gets copyrighted by Nature, so you can publish it all over the internet. You can reference it.
You can reference it if the fuckers actually would.
You know, but like they say, it's published extensively. No, it's been published once in Nature. Once you publish a scientific study in Nature, it's copyrighted by Nature.
Mm-hmm.
I can't take a Stephen King book, remove the cover, put my cover on it, and then republish it.
At that, like scientific studies usually are in public domain.
Yeah, you kind of have to pay money to get those.
Yeah.
By the way.
Well, that's not that. Well, no, that's not really as much. Even the ones you can get for access to for free are still copyrighted by the journal who published them.
Oh well, yeah, but
the rules are kind of weird.
Yeah, I really don't. I know I've paid to read scientific papers before, like to.
I can access most of them for free because university. I have access through the Royal Library.
Yeah, you son of a bitch. But I don't know. There are backdoors. There are backdoors to find the PDF.
However, at the time, Carlson's. I got it, but however, at the time, Carlson's conclusions received criticism from a number of authoritative sources, including Professor Hans, blah blah blah. Oh yeah, because he's so like we've already we know he's just a trustworthy source.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to him,
recent
actually,
analysis of the data by Professor Suitbird Ertel. Is that how Suitbird? It sounds like a cartoon character. And others have revealed that this test actually showed support for astrology. I very much doubt that. The thing is, you don't.
Wait, go back to that.
It's further down the same thing.
Yeah, because right there it says.
But I mean, like, you don't just get published in Nature, especially not in 85. You just like with that shit gets double checked and triple checked. You really can't like. Nature has because it's such a high profile and high impact journal. It's one of the ones where there's a surprisingly low retraction rate. Not surprisingly, there's a fairly low retraction rate of papers.
Okay, have you clicked on see scientific evidence yet?
Oh yeah, that's just like further down the same page.
Okay, links. Gotcha. Okay. Oh, so that's what you did. All right, I see. Never mind. Yeah, I kind of got lagged behind. I got a little bit of a delay in brain.
That's the song title, "Delay in Brain."
Yeah, like I think it's Emerson Lake and Palmer has an album called Brain Salad Surgery.
That's a good name too.
Or something. Yeah. Okay, so many skeptical websites cite the work of. Oh, I already started. I just jumped into it.
Oh, go for it.
Many skeptical websites cite the work of Dr. Jeffrey Dean, a one-time astrologer and now astrology's most ardent critic. Well, yeah, I mean.
I would just like to point out that the way it's written, one-time astrologer means he did it once.
Yeah.
Like.
It was a one-night stand with astrology.
Yeah, exactly. I think what they mean is that he was once an astrologer.
Yeah. They're trying to say that he was before he was a critic of astrology.
But if you say a one-time astrologer, that means that.
Oh, they mean like just for like one day. Like one day he went to a mall, did some astrology,
and then he quit.
He was doing astrology temp work. But I think it's kind of funny now. I don't know who this guy is. I've never heard of him. But it why this example? Like I'm sure he's probably the most famous example.
But
it's like, how could he be the most ardent critic? Has anyone here ever heard that name?
No.
Dr. Jeffrey, no.
I think they're just dragging this dude through the fire.
They might. They just might be pissed.
I love the next sentence though.
Oh yeah, the Dean is very charming. Oh yeah, diligent. Even better. And persuasive. Oh, he's
yeah. Wait, did they copy his dating profile?
He loves dogs. He also doesn't mind if you have children. He accepts that astrology. Okay, yeah, it did. I just meant that as in like.
He prefers it to have children.
Well, okay, it's a common thing that everyone's like, people who have children have lower self-esteem or lower standards because they want somebody to help them take care of the kid.
Oh, okay. I thought for a moment you said that the children had lower standards.
No, the woman. Like a woman will date a 3 has the money. Okay.
Oh, there's some good studies on those, which I like. On how much more attractive women find men with more money.
Mm-hmm.
Some really great. I think MythBusters did a thing on it. It was pretty great.
Yeah, I think they did.
Yeah, they showed a bunch of pictures
really
of men.
Them more attractive. I mean,
so they showed they had like a set of like 9 men, pictures like mugshots of them, and then in one set they put down, just some, a little verbiage on what they did. He's a dog walker, this guy's a barista, and this guy's a neurosurgeon and stuff, right? And they asked everybody to rate, just rate them. And then they showed a different group the same 9 pictures, but with no description, and asked them to rate. And generally, if you had a more lucrative job, you got a higher rating than you did with just a blind.
Yeah.
Just a blind rating. Without your occupation there.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know. For me, I don't know, if a woman has like a mole on her face, no amount of money gets rid of the mole without surgery.
Well, there is an amount.
I'm just saying.
I want to say that in the U.S.,
I'm saying
that is the
caveat. The fucking thing is never removed. I'm just saying, like, I'm not like going around judging people whether or not they have moles on their face. That's neither here nor there. But I'm just saying, like, I can't see any amount of money making me see more favorably for someone's attractiveness if I just genuinely don't find them attractive.
I mean,
and that study seems kind of like the Mythbuster study. They tested it with, I don't know. I think they could have done a better test.
They probably could have. I think it's been tested a few times.
Well, that's
more or less been
most.
Or just had a bigger sample size.
Let's be honest here. Most of Mythbusters tests could have been done.
Yeah, and they also have to do it in 30 minutes. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it's been done by other people as well. And it makes sense in a sort of biological, evolutionary standpoint where, sexual selection. Women are going to select men that are going to be more likely to help them raise their young, and in our society that means more money.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just say
aren't remotely.
But it's not. I mean, it's not. But it's not like it's a small. It's a significant difference, but it's not like huge.
Yeah. It's not like you're gonna get a 1 go up to a 10, right? It's like you'll have a 6 that'll go up to an 8, kind of thing. Like somebody, that generally gets averages a 6 on a prettiness scale. If you show them to have be a neurosurgeon or a engineer or something, they're more likely to get like a 7 or an 8 instead. Yeah, it's not a big difference, but it does exist.
Okay, Smelly, read on.
Fair enough. I guess I just was being a little more hyper literal about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to find this. You should look it up. It's pretty cool.
He accepts that astrology works and that it can even be helpful. Does he though? I'd like to look into that. But in his opinion, the reason it works is more down. Oh yeah, okay, never mind. To illusion and artifacts in astrology. So it's
it doesn't work.
So it's like magic.
No,
so
that's really saying it doesn't work.
Yeah.
If something is an illusion, it doesn't work. That's the point.
Yeah. So it works in the same way that magic works. Like you create an illusion.
Yeah.
It works. Like the trick works. It's just not actual magic.
Yeah.
And it's beneficial. Magic's beneficial. People get a good laugh out of it and make careers out of it and enjoy a good time.
Holy shit, dude. Magic is it's like a societal placebo.
Yeah.
You trick yourself, you fall into it. You'll believe that guy's definitely cutting his thumb off and that woman in half, and he's levitating 5 feet off the ground.
Yeah, we are willing to suspend our disbelief for
magic. Suspension.
Don't believe the magic.
But however, his attempts to prove his belief through tests leave much to be desired. Well, yeah, that's why he's a critic of it now. And isn't that kind of what anybody should do with any claim that's being made?
Yeah.
If it leaves much to be desired. I mean, okay, so I don't know. I think that's.
I think that was a poorly written sentence. I think they were saying that Dr. Dean's attempts to prove his belief that astrology is wrong leaves a lot to be desired.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
That's what I was trying to say. Like, that's not the impetus for science doesn't come from the urge to prove things. Well, I mean, it does come from the urge to prove things right, but we find in the long run, you're really setting out to prove things wrong because it has to make a prediction. Yeah, every step you get to has to be able to tell you something about quote unquote reality or whatever.
A 2-year study unpublished study of unaspected planets, whatever the fuck that means. A 2-year study at a time when Dean was an astrologer, involving over 200 cases, initially showed. Wait, so it's cases, not like actual people. There's a difference between saying 200 cases and 200 subjects.
Participants. Samples.
Yeah, exactly. Like 200 cases would mean that the cases have already been done according to different protocols. Possibly.
I also feel like he's being brought up on trial.
Yeah. Initially showed strong support for astrology, but independent replicated results still remains unpublished. I like that it says initially showed strong support. In other words, it doesn't show it anymore.
And doesn't it seem like they kind of are like insinuating that even the failures need to be published? Like if we had to publish
what they're insinuating is that it's unpublished because they wouldn't, like, he doesn't want it to be proven, like that he's hiding the evidence.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, underneath all of that, what he's unintentionally implying is that we should be publishing failures.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine how thick? I mean, medical journals are already pretty goddamn thick. Could you imagine how much thicker they would be if we had to publish everything? A compendium of the work for 2017 would probably be fucking astronomically thick.
That's why they're up different journals.
Okay, so, well, even from one journal, Micro.
Oh yeah,
I could still see it being.
It's a good thing that we have the internet.
Yeah, well, even so, I'm just saying it's unnecessary. Like, they're not being published because they're right, but they want to hide something. Like, that's preposterous. I think, scientists don't get much by the means of rock star status, but I mean, that's kind of like selling out a 200,000 seat stadium, is telling another scientist he's wrong and being able to prove it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't sit there and tell me that if somebody came up with a breakthrough that made some other dude look, it proved he was wrong. Like, there would be a little bit of schadenfreude. Like, yeah, I might be doing something good, but I really want to stick it to him because I'm better. Like, I know that they're not all egomaniacal dickheads, but I mean, there's got to be something down there.
No, we are.
All right, you heard it first, people. Everyone who has a PhD is a dick.
All dicks. Oh, the worst.
Okay, I want to kind of like. Okay, I know. I'm gonna skip a bit here down because this sounds fucking hilarious. Astrologers use idioms that can appear unscientific or ignorant. You don't fucking say. We used to move the word planets to include Pluto, the sun, and the moon. Yes.
Why? Why? We have perfectly good nouns for those.
Yeah, it's called dwarf planet, star, and sun. So and moon.
Yeah.
Everything's a planet. Asteroid, planet. A can left in space, planet.
If we say a planet is in Sagittarius, it does not mean it's actually within the constellation. So it's
I like the last one.
So you're
the last one.
What?
I love the last one.
If an astrologer writes about the influence of Mercury, it does not necessarily mean that the astrologer assumes a causal relationship.
What? Do you not know the definition of influence? Oh my goodness.
If an astrologer writes something that sort of looks like it's in English, it might not be in English. They have a special. They have a special language.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
I
I
want
have this new.
Okay, I'm sorry. We're gonna skip
I'm
ahead.
still taken aback
Wait,
by the
I
fact
got a
that
joke, so you better let me tell my goddamn joke.
I want the joke.
Oh, I was. No, I was just gonna say that I have a new cure, a new drug that'll cure cancer. That doesn't mean I necessarily think that there's a causal link between my drug and curing cancer.
Who?
Sorry,
Okay.
dude. I got stuck on the whole that they think we need to be like super specific when speaking about planets. Like that's just you don't have to point out that the sun is not a planet.
But it is in astrology. Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead just because we're not gonna finish this. We have 45 minutes. We have 15 minutes left.
Yeah, on the thing that we spent like 6 hours on.
Yeah, and all of this like studies, we would have to actually read the studies, which would be boring.
Which we can't find.
I want to know what this idiot thinks about James Randi.
Oh no!
But they think.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Someone read it.
Yeah. Okay.
I haven't read.
You jumped right to what I was talking about.
So
yeah, let Dan read.
Another skeptic suggested that I attempt to claim the $1 million prize offered by James Randi's educational foundation.
Educational.
I'm pretty sure that's just there for emphasis, not actually incantations. For showing evidence. Hello, ChocolateHat. Showing evidence of cannot be explained by known scientific laws.
Yeah, that's a good point. Why don't you claim the $1 million prize? Oh, but I don't need the money to give it to charity. Oh, but I'm an asshole who doesn't give money to charity.
No. Don't take the money.
Okay, so the next sentence is what I was scowling at.
Yeah.
So he basically says, "I'm not gonna do it because James Randi, he can't be trusted. He seems like a bad guy."
Well, I had an encounter with James Randi that left me with the impression that he could not be trusted to be impartial. I did look up the challenge. You do realize that if you look up the challenge, you would realize that he's not the guy. He's not the person who sets it up.
Yeah, he's not. He doesn't judge the challenge either.
No, he just runs like it's just in his name.
Yeah, and it used to be a thing, and I think he might still do this. That he walks around with like a $10,000 check and says, you show it to me, I'll give it to you right now. But I think that's more of just
well, he finances it. So he provides the bonds that is paid out. I've jumped in. I've no idea what you're talking about. But James Randi provides the bonds which form the prize of. It was $1 million until recently when he closed it off.
Yeah, it's closed now. It's sort of closed. I think it's now limited to like famous people because they're getting way too many like idiots, random idiots.
Yeah, far too many idiots, and none of them regressed anywhere.
Yeah, so it's
it still ran for a very long time, and the fact that nobody got it says a whole lot.
I mean, technically, if psychic abilities were true, someone should have gone up to him and claimed it before he made it.
Mm-hmm.
Did anyone see the April Fool of the James Randi handing out the check for $1 million?
Oh no!
Yeah, I saw that.
It's brilliant. He had this guy claiming he could influence computer, I don't know, something with his mind, and he had this demo.
Technomancy.
Yeah. And he had it all set up, and of course it was on the 1st of April. And the punchline came at the end when he was asked to double check the date of the check, and it was 1st of April. But he spent an hour long in this seminar verifying.
Oh yeah,
technomancy. It's brilliant.
No, I didn't realize it was an hour long. I just saw like, guess like technically a compilation of it. Like
yeah, no, it's the full seminar of this guy. Yeah, it's absolutely genius. It's like maybe you should post it on Twitter or something on the 1st of April next time. But it's a few years old now. It's his full seminar of this guy presenting his case and going through the stages of what he does and how he does it, and he goes through and he convinces James Randi at the end, supposedly, of course. And yeah, it's brilliant. It's genius.
Hey, Hat, do you want to read the next?
No, because I can't see anything.
Wait, really?
You're on your phone?
No, I'm on my computer, and I've clicked the Taking a Look At channel, and of course, being a techno retard who lives in a tree, I can't see anything.
Hold on, let me do something.
But if I could see something, I would absolutely love to. Hang on, give it a few seconds. No.
Well, that's a shame.
Glad you could join us.
What page are we doing? Is it astrology.com?
Yeah.
What page are we on? Astrology? Let me just type it in manually. Astrology.com.
I'm gonna post it in the. I'm gonna post it in the in our chat. The exact site.
Yeah.
And then down at the section 3 named Magic Trick.
Magic tricks.
Magic. Oh, I like magic. Sorry, I'm as always the technical hitch in this show.
Kind of weird that you can't see it. You should be able to.
No. Oh, is it posted in the? Oh, yeah. Hang on. Blood to Basis of Astrology.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then section 3 Magic Trick, and then in the B section of that, the one that starts, however, it's not an option.
Okay.
Sorry.
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Magic tricks, B section.
Yeah.
I just distrust magician James Randi.
Yeah, and then go down to however, it's not an option.
Okay, right. Okay, great, brilliant. Hey, however, it is not an option for astrologers, as according to Randi, who is by his own admission mathematically challenged with a source. I'm just gonna.
Well, yeah, yes. Yeah, that is true. He has at some point said that math is not his strong suit.
No, neither is it mine either, actually, to be fair.
But that doesn't matter because, again, Randy is not the person doing it.
No, exactly.
Dude, there's a presentation. Oh, go ahead.
What?
Oh, there's a presentation he did pretty recently. I think like in 2013 or 2014. I may be absolutely wrong about that. Where he did a presentation at, I think, the Helsinki Think Festival. Anyway, it's good. Find it on YouTube because he kind of addresses that sort of thing in the talk. It's like, he's not an academic. He's a magician.
Yeah.
And that's kind of his whole thing. It's like.
So the source that it quotes, it says, after widespread criticism that the odds in the Randi challenge were unreasonable, even by the standard of physics, James Randi was forced to revise the required probability levels. Randi admitted, quote, my abysmal ignorance of statistics requires that I frequently appeal to statistician Chip Denman of the University of Maryland for frequently sobering advice and counsel. 2008.
I would like to point out that says he was forced to revise the required probability levels. In other words, that's not what they show here is not an excuse anymore, because he literally like he actually went like their own source says that he went in and corrected it.
Yeah.
So
and he referred to a statistician. Yeah, it says that he referred to a statistician.
Yeah.
which is the appropriate person to refer to when revising probability.
Yeah, you know, a guy that works in statistics.
Yeah.
Yeah, as opposed to the guy who works in astrology.
Yeah. What's that thing that statistics uses? It's a thing that math.
Numbers.
Yeah.
Math.
Yeah.
Shit.
Who'd have thunk it?
Balloons.
Look, I need advice for my accounting. Do I go to a...
I thought we just
Hell no. I go to a dentist.
Sorry.
So I shall continue. The magic wand, statistical evidence required creates procedural problems with his performance-oriented testing. It's also impossible, as the odds required were unintentionally upgraded, in quotes, to 1 in 10 million. P greater than
that's not how p tests work. How you get the p value. The p value is not just like one in some number. That the p value of a test depends on the kind of statistical test you do.
Well, in this case, you can look
that is literally nonsensical.
Look, it's a number 2 pencil that's attacking.
Also, the p-value is not based on like some number in something. Like you set that beforehand.
No, it's
you decide what p-value you want to use. That's not inherent to the statistical analysis you do. That's complete bullshit.
It is. That's just the way of misrepresenting the way.
That's trying to be. Oh, look at us. We're scientific. We use p-values. Never mind that any.
Hope nobody notices.
And yeah, also never mind that any scientist worth their salt knows that you can't just blindly trust a p-value. Like prior probability has to come into account too.
Yeah. It's like Bayesian probability and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
There are. I think there are a few others, but yeah. Bayesian probability is the most popular.
But the famous thing is the like Rupert Sheldrake again is p hacking, where you adjust.
Well, p hacking is basically where you get enough results that some of them show up as statistically significant, or you fiddle around. You basically fiddle around with the numbers.
Yeah, or you adjust what counts as being statistically significant.
Yeah.
In the way that you may or may not
typically follow some kind of like methodology. It's not just like randomly chosen. I mean, I think
yeah, that's why you have it's a good scientific practice to choose your methodology and before you do the experiment, because that way you can't change anything afterwards.
Yeah. I mean, what they basically in this statement that they on this website, they're almost suggesting that the p-value and the odds required are synonymous, of the same thing.
Yeah, and they're not.
No.
The p-value, or see if I can get this right. The definition of the p-value is something like if it basically means that if you did the same experiment some amount of times it's the probability that the result has been obtained through random chance, something like that.
Yeah, rather than
it has a very specific. That's not the specific definition. It has a very specific definition.
Yeah. So the probability that and it can vary, and there's problems with it, but it's the probability that the result
it depends on the field how strict you set it. In biology, it's typically higher than in biology it's typically 0.05, where in physics it's 0.001.
Yeah, well, they have degrees of sigma in physics, and it's a lot tighter than in.
Yeah, it is, because they are dealing with much more rare occurrences.
Yeah. So it's a probability that the results that you get are through the experiment rather than through chance.
Okay, we're basically done now, but I want to finish this thing.
All right, right.
But what mystifies me is that if the
I'm reading from there. So, but what mystifies me is that if the paranormal is such obvious bunkum as Randy claims, or by the definition of the word paranormal, that's my own insert for full disclosure. Why has he gone to such extraordinary lengths to make it so difficult to present evidence that supposedly does not exist? Why Randy's challenge is a charade. Opening a new tab.
He hasn't from what I can tell, tests have been pretty fair.
So again, this is a link to the same website.
Of course, it fucking is.
So and there's a whole bunch of stuff. 3 sound reasons why Randy's challenge is unreasonable for astrology, and it's basically, I've not, in the 10 seconds I've seen it, I can't have read it through, but it looks like some kind of special pleading.
Oh boy. Well, I think it's fair to say that this, yeah, the show is coming to an end now, and no, we're not gonna do another episode on this, even though we technically haven't finished it. I don't think we ever
could finish it, honestly.
Yeah, that would take way too fucking long.
Maybe we should have a spin-off channel saying that's about completely, utterly debunking astrology.com forever.
Taking an astrology.
Taking a piss at.
Yeah, no, next time, which I'm not sure when it's gonna be. Sorry.
I have a really hilarious website that I'm going to try to find. I saved it on my Dolphin because for some reason, I use Dolphin browser on my iPhone. I don't know why, but I saved it on that, and then I deleted it because I was like, oh yeah, I don't use that anymore, and that. So I'm going to have to re-download it and see if it's still in there. It's a doozy.
In any case, that's us for tonight. Yeah, astrology is bullshit. So, in case you didn't know that before watching this,
basically, if you want a good rundown of what astrology is and kind of how it works and how it's easily scoffed at, just go watch the 4th installment of The Cosmos. Just
yeah, don't watch
on YouTube somewhere.
Don't watch our hangouts. Way too many tangents. That's what makes Cosmos so good. Not so many tangents.
And it covers a lot of ground for being. I think it's only like 43 minutes long. But
yeah, it's not that long.
For being that short, there's a lot of ground. It's really good. And we all know how articulate Sagan was. He likes to put sentences together before he says them. We're not real familiar with that.
That's not our specialty at all. Anyways, that's been us for tonight.
It's been me for 10 minutes.
Yeah. Say goodbye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.